Hi guys, it's Paula from PSN Creations. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. I'm so excited for today's video. I actually said I was going to do something and I followed through on it. So yeah, that shouldn't be a big feat, but you know, sometimes it is when you're crafting. Anyways, I did say that I had come across some Halloween fabric that had panels, and I was thinking about making a Halloween journal series. So my series was 3 books. So it wasn't like, oh my God, it's an extraordinary amount of books, but I did make 3 Halloween books. I did make a process video of making the cover, and I can't remember which cover we made together, but I will link the up here, somewhere up here. I will link the video so that you can see how I made the cover. And I followed that same process for all 3 covers. So these are slightly different than what I normally do, just for the simple fact that I did not fully decorate them. So there are some decorations in here. I created some pockets, but I really didn't do any tags or journaling cards to the extent that I normally do. So let me put it that way. So we're going to go through them. One thing to point out, all of them have 3 signatures, okay? Every single one of them have 3 signatures. It's roughly over 110 pages. It's like 120 pages front and back, you know, how that works when you do that math. I did recycle food containers for all 3 of them, so they're very flexible but still sturdy. All have fabric on the outside, and the inside it's cardstock. On the spine it's fabric. The spines are all reinforced. All of them have an eyelet right here if you choose to make a dangle and add a dangle yourself. 3 pamphlet stitch, and I think that's it. Yeah, they're going to be very similar, but different. You know how that works. And they all have a eyelash. Yeah, eyelash trim, black binding or black yarn as the closure. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I did name these. This is the Spell Witch because she's holding a spell book. So we'll start with the Spell Witch, and she is green. Okay, as you can see, obviously. Like I said, the inside cardstock, everything is sewn. Then we have fabric on the spine, 3 signatures. Each signature, the start of each signature is a wallpaper, vintage wallpaper. Okay, so just so you can see here, vintage wallpaper on each signature. I did do a drawing, and it's just a recycled book pages, and then I added either an avocado dyed or tea dyed or coffee dyed backing so that it's a journaling card and it's sewn all the way around. I figured you can color it in or do whatever. This is really a journal for you to be as creative as you'd like. They all have a pocket, lace pocket in the front as well. So we have that. We have some trim here on this. This has a book page pocket with a little die cut. And again, I did provide things so that you can embellish as much as you want to, or a little bit more. So here you can see 2003 is this. So it is vintage wallpaper. It's not like vintage, but it's vintage. So it's a different papers. We have book pages from like a plant magazine, some construction paper, some blueberry, no, not blueberry, black bean dyed dictionary vintage page, avocado dyed paper, some composite paper. Again, I did add my mailer pockets here like I normally do, but I did not create tags. I might go back and create tags at least for 1 mailer pocket because some of the books have 2 mailer pockets in it. But this is a vintage flashcard. Yeah, it had MCMLXXX. I don't know what date that is. Maybe it's not vintage. So there's a lot of writing space in here, a lot of space for you to be creative and continue to decorate. This is the middle of the first signature. I did do the ties on the inside on this one, so you can cut that off more, or you can add little dangles if you want, but I did cut them so they're not dingly, if you know what I mean. Excuse me. Allergies are a real thing right now. This is Food Dyed lined paper vintage music sheet. This is a, it's in here with a little paper clip, but it's just a bag that, again, you can cut up and make ephemera with, or make pockets with. It's a pretty large bag, so you should be able to do some fun stuff with it. All right, then we move into the second signature. The second signature, I just added a cat die cut on the front of it. And you know, wallpaper, you know, some of them is stiffer, some of them are a little bit flimsier, so just keep that in mind. Vintage ledger paper, unused. This is from an activity book. Give me a second, guys. Here is a tab made out of some of the wallpaper. We have some graph paper here. This is a Pago book. It's an old book. I can't remember the year of it. And then I did do, this is vintage lace, but it's originally white, but I used the Tim Holtz oxide to dye it purple. Some vintage map pages. So the middle of the second signature is a book page, and there are witches, and there's a pocket here. So what I did is I used what I now know to be a laminating pouch, and I just sewed it, and so it makes 4 pockets, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it also gives you the ability to still see the book page. I thought that was pretty cool. This is another journaling card that I made, so I hand drew the ghost and then use a vintage book page, and then I backed it with cardstock. No, manila folder, sewed all the way around. So again, I thought that was pretty cool. And then in this page, you have a vintage, oh, doesn't want to come out, a vintage edition flashcard, and then a vintage 60s, 56 Yahtzee card. And like I said, I like the idea of being able to see the book page as well as giving you pockets. So this is a book page, a vintage book page. This is the other side of the Pago. This is just a CD holder. I added some scrapbook paper on the inside. I did, what is it called? Distressed it around. And then this is just a vintage fun book activity, little kids activity. You would buy them and, you know, give them as Halloween gifts, or if you're having a Halloween party. So I added that in there. Again, you can do whatever you want with this. I just paper clipped it on here for you to decorate. All right. This is the smaller dictionary page. I think it was like an elementary dictionary page. The activity book. And then the last signature, a little pocket here. This is from a vintage magazine. I don't know what year. 1997 it says, so maybe is that vintage? No, this is 1995. I don't know what year it is. But just slips right in here. So this is just, you know, you can make it a pocket. You can redecorate these things as much as you'd like. I did the same thing here where I dyed it, and it, you know, I sewed it then and then you can see how it bled through, unfortunately. So it did bleed through over here a little bit as well. I don't think it looks bad, but on this side, I did not like how it looked, so I just added a little bit of washi tape. This is just a glassine bag, and it just has a napkin, a cauldron napkin, Miracle Cures. And so it is 4-sided, so I feel like you can have a lot of fun with that. And on this side, I just did a die cut of a witch on her broomstick. This is from another Halloween book. It's like an activity or decorating book. I just loved that image. Oh, sorry, it's a glare. Isn't that cool? It really does look like they're lit up. So anyways, lots of writing space, lots of surfaces. This one I cut. This is the glassine bag, but I just cut the bag on the top, so it's a top loading pocket, and then just some washi tape down the side. Here's my other pocket, a little bit of washi tape, a die cut, and then this is your safe deposit box record. So it's just a little booklet that you can have some fun with. And this is another napkin. Again, it's just paper clipped on here. Pick your poison. And again, it's four-sided, so I feel like you can have some fun with it. And that's it. That's the end of the Spell Witch. The Spell Book Witch, I guess is what I'm calling this one. Or green, just green. You know, they're all, the borders are different colors. We're going to go through the next two. This will be pretty quick because, again, like I said, they are very similar with the exception of the front and the inside. What's inside of them, the inside covers, what's inside of them is exactly the same. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to point out, and I will point that out afterwards. So let's move on with this. So this is Hear No Evil, See No Evil, Speak No Evil, 3 witches. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? I don't know if I showed the back, but the black is just black of all of them. And then, like I said, sewn all the way around, 3 signatures. Here's your eyelet if you want to add a bangle. The inside of this one is cardstock, but it's green polka dots. And we have some vintage lace here. Again, just a journaling card that you can color in the witch's hat or do whatever you'd like with it. This is just a little die cut from a little kit. I just liked how it looked there. This pocket I glued in. This is a vintage treat bag, and I did glue it in, or not glue it, but, you know, double-sided tape it in instead of just let it float. I probably should have just let it float so that you can put it wherever you want. But here's that record book and another vintage flashcard, coffee dyed paper. This is a page from that Halloween magazine, decorating magazine. Here's your napkin. Like I said, very similar pages. Here I just did these white boxes because I figured you can write something in them. I just thought it was cool, so I just did a little bit of gesso with white boxes. This is a reproduction invoice, and this is a vintage ledger, not used. The middle is a book from another Halloween book. It's of witches. This is just a die cut. It was the, what is it called? The negatives of a pumpkin that I made. So I decided to put it right there. Here is the CD. Again, it's the same concept as the other one. You can put it wherever you want, and the little booklet is with it. Second signature. Here's the actual pumpkin, and then I just use the negatives on the other page. I made just a pocket here, and it's just a pumpkin die cut, a flashcard. This is subtraction, and then this is from a ledger. I don't know what year. Oh, 52? Is it? No, 81. 81, 82, 87. So the 80s. Okay. This is this was from a crochet magazine, but I just liked the black and white, I guess, and their looks. I don't know. This is a French book, and I just added a little strip of this is from whoosh, Paula, I think, wallpaper, the wallpaper. And this is just, you know, from a paper pack. But I made it a belly band. So it's a belly band there, and then it's a belly band on this side as well. So, and then the little word, yikes. Here's the bag that I had on the other one too, where you can do something, vintage map. This is avocado dyed paper, but the pan that I used to dye it made the line, so I thought it looked pretty cool. This is a coloring book, so I added that in there. Page of a coloring book, sorry. A little bit of fabric ruffle right here, black fabric ruffle. And then the third signature, again, wallpaper. We have our pocket, junk mailer pocket with the vintage time card, and then also a flashcard. Excuse me. This is a page from a Halloween activities book. This is a bag from Dollar Tree, and I just liked the bag texture. This is a ledger from 1980s from a business. We used to call these green bars. Maybe, I mean, when I did payroll for a company that I worked for, we used to call them green bars, but they were actually green. So I don't know if they're blue, if they were called something different. The last signature is where I added the clear pockets. Now this one I didn't do a double. I just did a one clear pocket on one side, and then you have your napkin here, the cauldron napkin, and then these are just a few pieces of vintage ephemera that you can do what you'd like with it. This is a check. This is an invoice, I believe. 1918. And then this is a letter, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep. So again, you can have as much fun. And then, you know, when you take it out, again, you can see everything and keep the pockets clear if you wanted to. All right. And like I said, lots of writing space. This is a book for you to be creative, for sure. And that's the end of Hear No Evil, See No Evil, Speak No Evil Witches. And the last one is If the Broom Fits, Ride It. That's what it says in the thing, so that's what I went with. So this is orange, if not. And then we have purple. 3 signatures, same concept. Everything exactly the same. The inside of this one, you have orange polka dots. We have a witch that I stenciled out. And then we have purple lace here. We have our wallpaper, little pocket, lots of ephemera here. It's just vintage ephemera. The time card, the deposit book, and then a vintage letter of some kind, like a business letter. Coffee dyed paper, dictionary page, ledger, a map. This is from the activities book. I try to find the pages that look kind of like Halloweenish. Here's, again, that lace thing that I did, and it bled through as well, more than I liked how it looked, so I did add a little bit of washi tape there. In the middle, the first signature, again, is a page from one of those Halloween decorating magazines that I got my hands on. It's actually a book. It wasn't even a magazine. It was a book. But I thought it was cool. This was just the edge of another paper that I had. It was like one of those, you remember those papers that that people would buy to like write memos, or like a holiday theme where the border was holiday themed. Anyways, that's what this is, and it was just one of the borders, and I thought it would look pretty cool there, so I just put it there. Here I just did this, I added a little bit of extra piece of the wallpaper that I had. I just made it into a little side pocket, and then this is just a die cut of a witch's hat that can be used somewhere. This one I just added this tool here, and I sewed it, and it's kind of like a belly band because it doesn't have a bottom or a top. And then this is like the only real journaling card that I made, or yeah, I guess, well, aside from like the big ones at the front. Excuse me. I know this is going really quick, but really they're really all the same, so I didn't want to waste too much of your time. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. This is again a die cut, and then I added a little bit of lace trim right here. This is the second signature. We have the graph paper. We have the bag that you can, like I said, it's really big, so you can do a lot with it. The Pago page from the Pago book. I saw something very interesting. I was watching someone, and maybe this is not like, maybe if you don't agree with, these books are very old, right? And sometimes what was accepted back then is not necessarily accepted, or I'll just leave it like that, right? So this little alligator here, he's definitely, he has like a cigar or something in his mouth. I saw somebody do something that I thought was genius, and it was, instead of the smoke from the cigar, make little bubbles and make it look like he's smoking like a pipe that does bubbles, right? So if that bothered you, but I did want to point it out. Not all the Poggle pages that I have, I do have one in each journal, have where it shows like him, any of the characters, smoking a cigar or anything like that. But um, I mean, I guess that's when you use vintage things. That's a little bit of what you will see. So the second signature, the middle, again, I have my little clear pockets, and these are all the witches. I loved this one. So I have a playing card, I have the Yahtzee scorecard, and then I have a flashcard as well as part of that. Here I added just a little bit of washi tape. This is a time card. I did not decorate it other than just distressed it on the ends, and then it is paper clipped in, and then just added a little bit of washi tape right there. Here's your napkin, and here's the other page of the Pago. This is the poison napkin. And the third signature and last signature, we have another one of the, excuse me guys. Here I have, again, the little pockets that I made where kind of tuck them in, fold them down. This is another page from one of those magazines. This is the other side of the Dollar Tree bag. This is the paper that I was talking about. So I can't remember what it's called. I know it had it's not letterhead, but so it was just the border part. Here's the napkin. This is just an envelope that's definitely very grunged. This one's a little bit more grungy, for sure. See again how it dyed. The paper. This is from that coloring book again. I loved that one side was black and the other side was where you can color. Here's your CD holder that you can use with the little activity booklet on the inside. In this one, here's the envelope again, and I just added a little image that I colored, drew and colored. And the reason I have it like this is because obviously it's an envelope, so you can see it here. Reproduction invoice. And that's it. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to point out is I used, like I mentioned at the beginning, food container boxes to make these, and the food container boxes were different, varying heights. I think in widths, let me double check. No, for the most part, the width was exactly the same. Now, that does not take away that they are all the same pages, number of pages, and that they are all the same number of signatures, 3. But some of them are taller. So this one is the tallest, the purple. Let me just let you know what the height is. I can remember how to use a ruler. This one is like 8 3/4. It's not a huge difference. Just keep that in mind, okay? 8 3/4. This is the next tallest, which is like 8 1/2. And then this is the smallest of the 3. You can see this one is 7 3/4. So like I said, they're still the same girth and everything, I think, in my opinion. Also keep in mind that, it was you do have the ability to be more flexible with these. And that's why I like using what I use, as far as the the container, the food containers, and still give it the stability. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had so much fun making these series of books. If you are interested in any of them, you can either send me a message on Instagram, PSEN Creations there. You could, I'm going to have them in my Buy It Now on my Whatnot. There is a link below. If you're new to Whatnot, you can use my referral code or referral link, and you will get, I think, $10 that you can use towards your first purchase. And then I will obviously have them on my website as well if you're interested. And all that information is down in the description below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.